It's Saturday, June 27th, 2020. An absolutely stunning evening here in Palm Desert, California, and I wanted to take a few minutes this evening and just kind of recap on some things happening with this economy and just talk about some things that transpired over this past week. As most of you know, Dow Jones got hammered yesterday, down 730 points. Thursday, we got the jobless numbers. We lost another 1.5 million jobs. We also got news that spending, Americans are spending. Article right here, U.S. spending surges at record pace in May as government wages cash. So what's interesting is spending goes up, yet we look at the May incomes, they were way down. Yet we had the biggest surge in spending since 1958. But yet spending is still down 9.3% year over year. The question goes back, as I've asked many times, what is going to happen after July 31st when the $600 bonuses end? What is going to happen when people start rolling off of unemployment? What's going to happen when the stimulus checks come to an end? I do believe we're going to get one more round of stimulus. What is going to happen when people do not have, millions of people do not have jobs to return to, when more companies continue to file bankruptcy, more companies going out of business? This whole thing is going to be a historic mess, and I don't think most of us can even comprehend what we are heading into and how bad it's going to be. Another article here, a quarter of all personal income in the U.S. now comes from the government. You take unemployment benefits, emergency benefits, welfare checks, and so on. 25% of this country now is being supported by the U.S. government. The government now is funding the daily lives of a large portion of Americans. So who's going to pay for this? More than likely, who do you think? It's going to be you and I. It's going to be the middle class. And we are witnessing the middle class being decimated right before our very eyes. The middle class is being gutted. You're watching dollar debasement right in front of your eyes. Again, all of this debt, all of this currency debasement is going to annihilate the middle class. You know, I got to tell you, I'm sitting here, beautiful evening, but I am deeply concerned about where this country's going, deeply concerned about my fellow Americans, and especially people with families and kids. This is going to get really bad, ladies and gentlemen, and I cannot reiterate that enough. The reasons that you need to be preparing are endless. What we're going to see here in America is going to go down in the history books. It will be a biblical, no doubt about it. 1/3 of New York City hotels could go bankrupt. You know, look at what is happening to hospitality and leisure, how many people these industries employ, the amount of tax money these hotels, businesses and restaurants, resorts bring in to these cities. And they can't do business. This economy continues to remain frozen. And you know, we're looking at another round of this infection. They're preparing us for it. And unfortunately, I've had to put off my trip to Texas, moving out assets and supplies and other things that I'm putting out to my other location in Texas. I've had to put it off because of all the uncertainty, what was happening with the protest out here. I just didn't feel comfortable leaving, not knowing what I was going to encounter going through other states. Would I be able to get back to this state? And now what's happening in Texas, this big surge with the infection. You know, are we going to see quarantines in different states? So I'm putting off my trip now until further notice, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there or get back. So I'm hoping to get out to Texas and get some things set up, hopefully the beginning of August. Another article today, half of U.S. homeowners struggle with mortgage. Many consider selling home. I'm reading articles now where half half of the homeowners in America are now considering selling. 47 to 49% now thinking about selling. I was watching a thing on RT this evening, and they were talking about this surge of people leaving these densely populated cities like New York and heading into the suburbs. And they're expecting a big boom in real estate in the suburbs. But my question is, well, who's going to buy the properties in the cities in order for those people to move? Like you've got to sell your property. You need a buyer. So who's going to buy in these urban cities now for those people to move to the suburbs? So I do see a massive housing crash coming to America. Article on CNBC today, Delta to warn more than 2,500 pilots about possible furloughs. Offers early retirement packages. No V-shaped recovery coming, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be hunkering down, preparing for what's coming. We are going to see a collapse unlike any we have ever seen in the history of America. Mortgage bailout suddenly swells. Homeowners face new struggles. We are going to see a massive housing crisis. I believe this is going to be much worse than what we saw in 2008. Active forbearance plans rose by 79,000 in the past week, ladies and gentlemen. Let me repeat that, 79,000 in the past week. Increases happened every day for the past 5 business days. 9% of all active mortgages are now in forbearance. Could you imagine? This would be worse than 2008 already. We have nearly 5 million homeowners in forbearance right now. This is just a bailout, and it's a temporary bailout because it is just putting off the inevitable. What is going to happen when these people have to make up the 3 payments and then pay the 4th payment? This is going to be very, very bad for millions of homeowners. If you couldn't make your mortgage a couple months ago, why do you think you're going to make it up today and make up those lost payments? This is going to put people in a very, very bad position. Again, this whole incident with this infection has just exposed how weak the consumer is, how weak the government is, how weak the economy is, and how broke all of it is. It is broken financially. The government is bankrupt. Millions of homeowners are bankrupt. Corporate America bankrupt. Zombie companies running wild. Households in massive debt. Companies and corporations in massive debt. The whole house of cards is coming down, and you need to be preparing accordingly. Another article today, 2 million restaurants worldwide at risk of collapse. So do you really think things are going to get better next week or next month or this year? Absolutely not. We haven't even seen the fallout yet of what all this is going to cause. Wait till we come to July 31st and those $600 bonuses, and wait till the expiration date on these forbearances begin to kick in this fall, this winter. The only thing they can do is maybe extend the forbearance, but I doubt that. At some point, people are going to have to pay the piper, and I cannot even believe what is happening here in America. And again, I don't think any of us can really comprehend how bad this is going to be financially, how bad it's going to be socially here in America. Rail traffic still down. Another bellwether of what is happening to the U.S. economy. Carloads down 21.8% this week compared to the same week in 2019. For the first 25 weeks of 2020, volume was down 15.7%. Again, this is another canary in the coal mine warning you of what's coming. Anybody who's going to be shocked when the bottom falls out, when this collapse rips open, anybody that's going to be surprised, I'll be dumbfounded, because there have been warning sign after warning sign now for well over a year. Look, we never recovered from 2008. You could go back to 2008 and say that we never recovered from that. And back in 2019, the summer, September, repo market, the repo injections, another huge warning sign of what was happening. We have had plenty of time to be preparing for what is coming, and this collapse has begun. And if you haven't begun to prepare, I feel extremely sorry for you. But you still have a little bit of time, some opportunity. You can still get security. You can still buy brass. You can still buy silver and gold. You can still put cash away. You can still buy food and water. These things are all available. If you're not taking advantage of this opportunity, you're going to pay a severe price. Ask yourself, did you do something this weekend to prepare? Many people are going out spending their stimulus checks. They're spending their $600 bonuses. But what did you do to prepare for what is coming? There's not going to be any surprise here when we wake up one day and the stock market is down 2, 3, 4,000 points. When we start seeing gold blowing past 2,000, past 3,000, when we start seeing silver rising to 20, 30, 40, $50 an ounce, are you really going to be surprised? I'm not. It's long overdue, ladies and gentlemen. I am shocked it hasn't happened already. The Fed is very powerful, but they have two tools. One is printing money, the other is interest rates. We're at 0%. They're printing a lot of money, and the problems are not going away. The drug is wearing off. You know, if you keep giving the patient a drug to fight a bacteria, sooner or later that bacteria builds resilience to the antibiotic, and that's what's happening. They're having to print more money, and more money to fight the problem, and the problems aren't going away. It's making the problem worse. Another article, V-shaped narrative dies as commercial real estate bust accelerates. Millions of people are not working, and they don't have the need to go to offices. Many people who are working will be working from home. We're going to see a commercial real estate bust in America unlike any we've ever seen. And that is going to bleed over into a housing bust. It's going to get very ugly here in America. But if you have patience, if you've been saving, if you have been buying assets, if you've been putting cash away, if you haven't been spending all of your money and your stimulus and your unemployment benefits, if you really are preparing right now, all this is going to be on sale. Commercial real estate is going to be on a huge sale. Housing, huge sale. Autos, a huge sale. Again, I've said in the past, anybody that is even considering buying a house right now has clearly got to be out of their mind. Here's another bellwether for you on CNBC. Credit card industry reins in balance transfer offers as banks like JP Morgan to Amex fear defaults. What do they know that 99% of Americans don't know? 98% of you watching this video tonight know exactly what they know. And that's why you're putting away assets. That's why you're putting away cash. That's why you're not getting yourselves into debt. You're doing the opposite. You're getting yourself out of debt and getting prepared. There are going to be massive sales to America. You need to be your own central bank. You need to take advantage of the sales that are coming in the stock market, in real estate, housing, commercial, autos, boats, RVs, farms, businesses. Everything is going to be going up for sale. But who's going to buy it? Most Americans are going to be too broke. They're going to be starving to death. We're going to see an explosion in homeless, in the jobless areas. We're going to see people in very big trouble. As I've said many times, aren't you noticing a lot of the people that you used to see on social media, on Twitter and on Facebook, you know, the people that would always show you the steak dinners, the lobster tails, the crab legs, the expensive bottles of wine and champagne? Have you noticed how most of those people have disappeared? That's because those people are in huge trouble. They're now drowning in debt. The minute that they got laid off, the minute they lost their job, they were in big trouble. You do not want to be going down in a sinking ship with a bunch of debt tied to your leg. You want to be able to swim. You want to have a life jacket. That's why you have to have assets. That's why you got to have a reserve, an emergency fund. Because this is going to be way beyond a rainy day, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a flood. And the door of the ark is beginning to close. And either you're going to be in the ark prepared and able to float and weather this storm, if you're not in the ark, you're outside, you're going to drown. And what is going to happen economically is going to pour over socially. We're going to see big problems on the streets of America. We're going to see states go bankrupt, like the state of Illinois, which has already begun. And this is all going to roll into pensions. We're going to see a pension crisis. We're going to see states and municipalities going broke, pensions going broke. And this is going to be big trouble, because when people go hungry, they're going to go nuts. And this is why security is your number one asset. I'm going to do a show hopefully Monday, weather pending, if we don't have too much wind out here. Back out at the range training, we're going to talk about preparation, some of at least my ideas and some other people's ideas of ways to prepare, what you should be preparing for, and how you should be preparing for it. But take this weekend to do a little preparation. Do you have enough food? Do you have enough water? Do you have enough brass? Do you have enough security? Do you have enough training? Do you have enough cash put away? If you got to work an extra side hustle or two to do what you got to do, that's what you need to be doing. There's going to be plenty of time to spend money. There's going to be plenty of time to be buying big screen TVs and Nike gym shoes and drinking nice bottles of wine. Right now is not that time. We've all had to make sacrifices. We've all had to maybe sell cars that we liked, trucks that we liked, real estate that we liked, to downsize, drive something more affordable, cheaper, something that we didn't have to have a payment with, maybe downsize our home. If you live in a 3 or 4 bedroom home and you only use 1 bedroom, why do you need the extra 2, 3, or 4 bedrooms? Why? If you're thinking about moving in with family members, if that's going to save you money, if that's going to allow you to have a cash reserve, if that's going to allow you to buy some assets, if that's going to allow you to pay off debt, then that's what you need to do. Too many people just have too much of an ego, that they have got to be impressing people with their clothes, their jewelry, their cars. There'll be plenty of time for that. Right now, you need to be protecting yourself and your kids. And if that means moving in with mom and dad, or moving in with your brother or sister or whatever to save money, then that's what you need to do. Right now, you've got to be thinking about survival. This is a time of emergency, not a time of egos. Get the ego out of the way. People with the egos are going to be the people that get destroyed with this economy. And they're getting destroyed right now. Nobody's going to care what kind of car you're driving. Nobody cares what kind of watch you're wearing. Nobody cares what kind of sneakers you're wearing. All people are going to care about is, can you survive? That's all you should care about. Again, it's not about material objects, cars, sneakers, and watches. That is not going to carry you through this collapse. That's not going to make you a better asset. Have a skill. Learn a good skill. Be good with a skill, and you're going to get through this. Be your own asset and be able to protect yourself and your family physically and financially. These are the tools you're going to need to survive. The person who's been sitting in a cubicle 8 to 10 hours a day with a cushy job, as soon as that job is gone, how are they going to survive? They're not going to be able to adapt to what we're going to see. You need to get a mental, physical, and spiritual mindset right now to survive what is coming. Okay? It's going to be ugly. It's going to be disturbing. It's going to be very rough. No matter how prepared you are, no matter how much gold, silver, brass, food, or water, it's going to be extremely hard. It's going to be hard no matter how well prepared you are. It's going to be even harder if you're not prepared. But it's going to be hard for those people who have been in the system, rely on the system, rely on the financial institutions, rely on the government, rely on that job that allows them to sit in that cubicle. Because once that job is gone, these people will not be able to adapt. They've had their Starbucks every morning, had that $5, $6, $7 coffee. They've had their little debit card. They've been shopping, at Walmart. They've been posting on social media. They're plugged into the system. But how will those people be able to adapt? Those people who have relied so much and bought into the system so much, how are they going to adapt when the plug is pulled? And the answer is they will not. That's why you need right now to be getting in the mindset for what's coming. God bless every one of you. Have an incredible weekend. I'm going to be hoping to get another Patreon video up on Monday. It should be very good. And again, give this video a thumbs up, like it, share it with everybody, blast it all over social media. If you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed so you get the newest video. A lot is happening, and we'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. God bless every one of you.